so this video review is the Dr.Gross Alpha Beta Daily Face Peels. I mentioned this in my Neostrata video, the glycolic acid peel. That is sort of, I believe it's 10%, so it's the strongest available sort of over the counter without a prescription. And I was really excited about doing a review on this because it hadn't yet got here. I think I had ordered it. Now these are pretty pricey. They're about 85 bucks. And you get, how many do you get? 30, right. 30 of them. And they're a two-step process. I will show you. They come in little packs like this. And, whoops. They come in little packs like this. They actually came in a tub of wet pads. It's a two-step thing. And I didn't want to get it in that particular formulation. These, not primarily, technically are supposed to be used on a daily basis just for, you know, that month or the 30 days and stuff. And you're supposed to use them up quite quickly. I don't do that. I don't want to use something, I don't want to be forced to use something every single day. I kind of like to mix it up here and there depending on what my skin is doing at the time. You know, as I said in my skincare video, the best piece of advice that I can give, not that I'm some, you know, pro or have the magic bullet for anything, but what I will say is just listen. Listen to your skin. Listen to your own gut. Do not take what professionals say. Well, you know, no, obviously they know what they're doing. They've gotten their degree. They've, you know, studied hard. They know a lot. I have a lot of experience. So, of course, you know, you do trust the professionals. But for me, I have actually had consultations with dermatologists where when I'm listening to them, I'm thinking to myself, your head is totally up your own ass. Like, honestly, the advice that you're giving me is totally ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense to me, and that's not right. And even on YouTube, I've seen, you know, certain derms say things where I'm like, that is totally erroneous information that does not make any sense to me. I've done a tremendous amount of research. I've talked to other dermatologists, and they're like, no, I wouldn't classify that as an exfoliator at all. So that's just me. Where I really am more of sort of a skeptical person. I just think if that doesn't sound right to me, you know, I've got a brain. We all have brains. We have, you know, the internet at our disposal. Not that that's the best reference point for information, but, you know, certain things just don't sound right or it just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, pshaw, because, you know, people are people. And, you know, sometimes, especially, you know, there's constant information coming up all the time. And sometimes, you know, you kind of get complacent in your job. You think you know everything and you don't sort of keep up with the latest information. I mean, I told a dermatologist once when he prescribed me hydroquinone, and I said, I don't want hydroquinone. It's a possible carcinogen. It's been banned in Europe and in Asia in parts of it, or a certain type of hydroquinone. And he was like, pshaw, no, that's totally, you know, I've been using it for 50 years and this, that, and whatever. And I'm like, well, that's the whole point, right? This is like new information, and I refused the prescription. I was like, I'm not going to use that. And if you want to give me kojic acid or whatever, you know, like suggest other things, I'm fine, but I'm not. And he really pshawed me, and I got really pissed off. And what happens? It turns out it's pending ban in North America now. So, you know, if that's the case, in a couple of years, he's not going to be able to prescribe it at all. And he had somebody telling him years earlier that, no, there's a possible problem with carcinogens. So for me to know more, or at least, you know, I'm not going to say what I know is fact. There's going to be people that are like, no, they only say that because of this, and it's really not harmful. And I totally understand that, and I respect if that's the way you feel. I feel something contrary. So, you know, to me, I kind of, anyways, you know what? Forget that. And let's go back to the review. Sorry, guys. All right, here's what I was going to say. My advice is always listen to your own skin. You can see with your own two eyes what your skin is doing and what you think it needs. If it's got real dry patches and if it's looking weird and you're trying something, then stop using that, try something else. Or don't use something every day just because it says you have to use it every day. If you see it working, great. If you don't feel like using it for a couple of weeks, taking time off, do that too. It's totally fine. In my books anyways. Let me just do a disclaimer for my skin. That's what seems to work. It might not work for you. I'm just a really big proponent in honoring your own gut and your own intuition. I think it never leads you wrong. And I think we're just so used to having to question ourselves because of what professionals say to undermine you. And quite frankly, sometimes it's just about making a buck and selling you stuff when you can actually go, I don't really need this. I don't feel like I need this, but you feel pressured. That's sort of what I want you to just honor your own sense of what you know is best for you, because that kind of gut feeling is gold. Okay, enough. Anyways, right, these pads. So there's 1 and 2, and you put on step 1 all over the face. It's a little pad all over your face. Leave it for 2 minutes. Don't put anything, and then do, when it all dries, and then do step 2, face and neck. I pull it all the way down to my neck, and again, just leave it on. This isn't a rinse off. After the 2 minutes, you can put on other products if you want, but they must not contain alcohol. Sometimes it's kind of tricky because alcohol maybe, is like the 10th thing listed and stuff. When I do this, I just use argan oil because I know it's 100% argan oil. There are no hidden alcoholic ingredients in there. So I know maybe other things of mine may contain alcohol just as a delivery agent, not a huge amount, but this says don't use anything with alcohol. So just to play it safe, I use argan oil after this. The reason why I got them is because of his glow pads, his summer sort of self-tanning glow pads. My gosh. The first time I used that, it was like a glow, and you got a hint of color, like just really sun-kissed. You didn't get that fake orange color. And when I did self-tanning the first time, like 10 years ago when it first came out, I think I used a Lancome one. It was hideous. It was so flat and one-dimensional, and it was sort of orange. And after that, I vowed never to do self-tanning again. And then I got a little tan towel and a sample, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll try that. And woohoo, honey, I loved it. And so the Dr. Gross glow pads are amazing. You really get that glow. You get a little bit of sun, and you can obviously compound it and get darker and darker if you want to. So I got these ones thinking that they'd be just as good. Are they just as good? No, they're really not. I don't really get a lot of the glow from these. Am I feeling the acid, the alpha beta? I believe it's got, ding dang dung it. It's got quite a few different acids, I believe. So it's got water glycolic, witch hazel, salicylic, citric, lactic, malic. These are all acids. What is it? Step 2. So it's got like 4 or 5 different acids in the first pad, and the second pad it's kind of got it's got retinol, camellia, soy, sodium benzoate. It's got different things maybe to sort of calm it as well. I didn't really get that glow like I do with the glow pads. Did my skin look a lot better afterwards? Not really even. Honestly, I've used probably about 10, 12 of these, and I still have quite a few in this. Would I buy it again? No, I wouldn't. These have gotten such huge raves from actual other dermatologists and sort of skincare professionals, plastic surgeons, all of that sort of stuff. And now I have to sort of take that with a grain of salt. But at the same time, they're the same people who love SkinCeuticals C Ferulic, and that is my holy of holy grail. So it's just, trial and error, hit and miss. So the verdict is out of the 2, I definitely prefer the Neostrata. The Neostrata is in a glass bottle. There is a video. Maybe I'll link it in the below bar. And it is, I believe, just glycolic acid, and I prefer that. I really actually see a difference in my skin right away. And that one is a rinse off. After about 10 or 15 minutes, you do rinse it off. And I prefer that to these. They're comparable. The other one is like around $100, and these are like $85, but I think the other ones last you longer. These only have 30 pads, so depending on how often you use it. And the other one you use so very little to soak a pad. So yeah, I would have to say that this was a bit of a miss. I would never repurchase this again. I definitely would purchase his glow pads again, but I have 3 or 4 boxes of it still. So anyways, I hope you found that helpful. And if you have any other questions, feel free to ask, and I will try and answer the best I can. I'll see you soon, guys.